President Jonathan, welcome to DOC TV. This morning, you and others spoke at the opening session of this year's Rhodes Forum about the importance of regional organisations and economic integration. Yet in other parts of the world, such as Europe and the US, we're seeing that these are under strain from a resurgence in more nationalistic sentiment. Where do you think the balance lies between national sovereignty and supranational governance?
Thank you. First, let me commend DOC Rhodes Forum for keeping this conversation for these 15 years. If you look globally, and especially probably the developing nations like Africa, we see that these subnational bodies are doing wonderfully well in terms of maintaining peace within the sub-regions. And my belief, and I believe that is also the philosophy of DOC, the Rhodes Forum, is that these centers of relevance, centers of power, not compared to what you had as unipolar or bipolar, no, not that level of power, but the power that these regional bodies can galvanize states within their fold and ensure peace and economic growth is very, very obvious. In Africa, we have the AU, the umbrella body that covers the whole of Africa from North Africa to South Africa. Of course, we have the sub-regional bodies like Economic Community of West African States, where Nigeria belongs. But for ECOWAS, most West African states have been experiencing conflicts for decades, and all their economies would have been completely in tatters. And of course, that will snowball into regional conflicts and of course, African conflicts and of course, the rest of the world. So if anybody advocates that this multipolarity concept is not helpful, I don't believe in. The key thing is that how will the UN help to coordinate this through the Security Council? And for the UN to effectively coordinate this through the Security Council, the UN also must be reformed. The UN is a body that was formed by 51 nations in 1945, 24th October 1945. This is almost half a decade. A lot of things have changed. Knowledge has increased. Awareness has increased. We are talking about today, as you are talking, somebody in the US is listening. Before this time, it was not so. So this multipolar concept must be used for the benefit of humanity. I still believe that is the most effective way to ensure peace globally.
Another theme of this year's conference is the ongoing fight against terrorism. From your experience as president, what do you see as the best way to build an effective global security architecture to help manage this threat?
Of course, in terms of terrorism and most of these security challenges we have globally, I think the most effective way is massive education and job creation, empowerment. As in Nigeria, we are facing that. What I did when I was in office is to make sure that expand educational facilities so that so many young people will be engaged in productive ventures, so that it would not be so easy for you to recruit people that are engaged. Yes, there are some people through radicalization. They may even be doing well. They may even be millionaires, but they may decide to go and throw bombs and kill themselves. But majority of human beings, when they are doing their own work and they are effectively occupied in productive ventures, there's the less likelihood of joining miscreants to create havoc. So to me, whether at the national levels, continental levels, or global level, the issue is approach. And also, the world must also know that not just about one nation becoming so developed, getting all the resources of the world and keeping to yourself. The resources must go around. You must encourage other nations to develop. That's why we in Africa believe that, look, the advanced countries in terms of technology, must also make sure that African countries don't continue to just export raw materials. If you export raw materials, you're exporting your jobs. They must encourage production, adding value to the raw materials in these other countries so that so many young people will be gainfully employed. That will reduce the likelihood of maximum frustration that will make them take into crime. So I believe that is another way to approach.
Finally, what do you hope to achieve at this year's Rhodes Forum, and how do you think this forum can make its contribution to Africa?
Thank you again. Let me use this opportunity to thank the DOC and Rhodes Forum, because this year, this is the first time I'm coming. But I believe that for them to invite two former presidents of Africa, myself and the former president of Mali, to participate in the leading opening session shows that they are beginning to focus Africa. And I believe that if they continue to do that and begin to put Africa as a platform, I mean, one of these technical sessions should be devoted for Africa alone. Last night I was having a conversation with one of the key leaders, and I told him about the issue of infrastructure, how it affects Africa. Because I remember when we had the Commonwealth meeting in Australia before I left office, that was one key. The heads of governments and, of course, the private sector discussed. So the Rhodes Forum should, maybe I believe in the 16th, 17th edition, they should go a little further by having just one of these discussion sessions to face Africa, bring more participants from Africa, from the business, the political class, the academia, the technocrats, and the business people, to discuss how we'll collectively move Africa forward, looking at the total concept of dialogue of civilization, the multipolarity, and the way forward for the world. I believe that will even help more.